Zhiyun just announced 2 super powerful portable LED lights for you to step up your videos and photos, and they each bring something unique to the table. First, we've got the pocket-sized Fiveray M40. The name of the game with this light is simple but powerful. And then we've got the Fiveray F100 stick light with 100 watts of power, full RGB, and more. So Zhiyun has sponsored this video and asked me to show you a little bit about each of these lights and 10 practical ways that you can actually use them to help your content. So secure the cup and let's get lighting. Alright, first things first, let's take a look at the M40. Like I said, the Fiveray M40 is a pocket light, but it's 40 watts, so it's ridiculously powerful at a max brightness of 14,000 lux according to Zhiyun. And because it's so powerful, they've included a variable frequency cooling system that uses a heatsink and a built-in fan that self-regulates to improve the cooling efficiency to allow for all that power. It's a variable bicolor light, and the controls are super simple. There are 2 knobs on the side, one for temperature and one for brightness. It has a built-in stand with quarter 20 threads on it so that you can attach various accessories and adjust the angle. And the M40 has 2 built-in 18650 batteries that charge via USB-C with PD fast charging, and it lasts 29 minutes at full power. Not that I ever really need to turn it up to full power. The Fiveray F100, on the other hand, is a stick style light, so while it doesn't fit in your pocket necessarily, it's still incredibly portable and has a built-on handle area for you or a helper to hold it. As the name suggests, this light has 100 watts of power with 20,708 lux being the max brightness, making this the brightest and most powerful light that I think I've ever seen in this size. And again, because of that high power, they've added an even more robust version of that same cooling system into this light as well. The F100 has 6 2600 milliamp hour batteries built in and can be charged via USB-C PD or the optional 120 watt charger. But the F100 also has some extra tricks up its sleeve with full RGB capabilities, optional light modifiers, and built-in effects that we'll talk about in a second. Okay, so now you generally know what's going on with these lights, let's talk about some practical ways that you can use them. I've got 5 different uses for each light, and 2 of them are already being used in this scene. So first off, I've currently got the M40 just above and behind me as a hair and rim light, using the quarter 20 thread with a friction arm and clamping it onto the beams in my studio. I've set it to about 3200 Kelvin to match the lamp behind me, and it's at about 10% power because I really don't need that much power. Using a hair or rim light like this makes a huge difference in separating dark clothes or hair from a dark background. Number 2, I'm using the F100 to add a splash of color in the background. By clicking the top of the control circle on the F100, you can switch it from CCT mode to HSI mode, and then set the color by turning the circle. In this case, I chose 182 for a nice blue teal to complement the tungsten color of the lamp on the other side of my scene. Next, I can set my saturation and intensity levels by clicking the middle button to switch which parameter I'm controlling. Then I just set the F100 on the back of my desk behind my monitor and use the barn doors to direct the light up at the wall a little bit, and there we go. The next use for the M40 is as a live streaming or video call light. Again, if you've got a friction arm you can use, you can attach this to a monitor stand and have a nice easy setup for live stream or video calls. But even if you don't have a friction arm, the built-in stand makes it easy to set this light on a speaker or on your desk and point it at yourself to get some extra light on your face. My recommendation would be that if it's possible, get the light either even with your face or slightly above. For example, I can put it up on my speaker and then it's kind of above my eye line. But if that's not possible, then having the extra light, even if it's coming from below, sitting down on your desk, it'll get the job done. Use number 4, going back to the F100, is as your main key light using the barn doors and diffuser. The optional accessories allow you to soften the F100 light to get a nice key light. Attach the barn doors, stretch the diffusion material over them, and voila. For a key light, I like to try and place it slightly above and about a 30 to 45 degree angle between the camera and the subject. Now, if you try this and you find that you're getting a bit too much shadow, this is where use number 5 can come in. Staying with the F100 this time, you can use this as a fill light. All you do is set up the F100 the same way on the opposite side of the camera from the key light, and then set the level to fill in the shadow area bit for a little less of a dramatic look. Use number 6, back with the M40 again, is as an on-camera key light. To do this, you can add some kind of a quarter 20 hot shoe adapter adapter, and then you can add the light directly onto your camera. And if you also need a microphone on top of your camera, you can use one of these hot shoe to multiple cold shoe adapters as well. Typically you think of using lights for when it's dark, and that's one way to use it of course, but I also find this can actually be handy when I'm filming outside and it's bright and I want to backlight my subject. It can often look great to place the sunlight coming from behind the subject, but it often leaves their face a bit dark. By setting the M40 to daylight or 5600 Kelvin and putting it on top of the camera, you can get a bit of exposure back on the subject while keeping that pleasing backlit look. The next use case with the F100 is with the optional grid attachment for creating confined areas of light on products. Often when lighting products, it can be difficult to stop the light from spilling where you don't want it, but by using a grid attachment, the F100 allows you to stop the light from spilling where you don't want it. And speaking of product shots, the next technique, which can really be done with either of these lights, is light movement instead of camera movement. Basically, by grabbing the M40 in this case and slowly waving it over your product that you're shooting video for, you can get movement in your shot without ever having to move the product or the camera. This is also a great way to show some of the intricate details of your product, since the light is going to be moving in and out of all the cracks and crevices of that product. The next use case is for the F100 and using the built-in effects to mimic certain types of lighting for your videos. To do this, we hit the up button again on the control wheel to move from HSI mode to effects mode, where we'll find a bunch of different options like candle, TV, fire, faulty bulb, and lightning. So if we wanted to make it look like our character was sitting in front of a fire, no problem. And our last use case for the M40 is fitting into small places. If you wanted to get a shot inside a cupboard shooting outwards, you can place the light and the camera inside and then have your talent open it up. Or if you wanted to do the classic character opening a magical glowing box shot, you can just place the light inside the box and it's just that easy. So that is 10 different practical uses for these two new lights. But as always, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below if you have more ideas on how you might use these lights. And right now, Zhiyun is running a buy one get one promo with limited quantities, so head down to the link in the description to get that deal now or to just check out these lights more. And on your way down, hit that like and subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Zhiyun for sponsoring this video. I'll see you next time.